Hi, so my name is Nema, and I have my amazing friend
Luca!
Luca, and Luca is just about to blow our mind with her amazing testimony. I cannot wait. So tell us about your story.
Well, so I grew up Catholic, in the Catholic Church, Catholic school, and I never had a relationship with God. I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
I didn't really even care about God. I'm just like, he's just some thing. I don't know, where is this God? You
Yeah.
know? And so there wasn't anything there.
Right. Yeah.
And then my mama died when I was 6. My father remarried when I was 9. Nobody told me my mother died.
Was that tough for you as a kid?
Yeah. Yeah, because a person needs their mama and their daddy. And
Yeah.
there just was that I missed her.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And then with nobody told me what happened to her, that she died, I'm like, well,
yeah, like where were you
mom?
when it was happening?
I was home.
Yeah, but no one told you.
But there was just all this commotion going on.
Yeah.
Go get my sister. Mom won't wake up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I go get my sister, and then they took her out by ambulance, and my dad's crying. All of a sudden, people start bringing over food, and then all of a sudden, no mom.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm like,
tough.
well, wait a minute, where did she go? And I kind of came to the conclusion that I must have done something wrong to make her go away, because I always had these reoccurring dreams that she came back, and she said, I just couldn't handle you.
Oh no, that is the lies of the enemy.
Ah, you think?
Ah.
So then my dad remarried
Yeah.
when I was 9 years old,
Yeah.
and I still didn't know where my mother went, but
They didn't tell you.
no.
They didn't explain. Oh wow.
I think when I was like maybe 12 or something, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Because people would say, oh, when mom was alive,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, mom's dead. Okay,
Okay.
now I got it. That's where she went. And my mother, when my stepmother came in, she never had kids, and all of a sudden you got 7.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't always the nicest kid to my stepmother or to my father. But yeah.
So that's where kind of rebellion started.
Well, no. Probably when I just didn't know what was going on.
Right. Yeah.
When I got older, about a year after my dad remarried, I latched onto my brother after my stepmother came into the picture. After my mom died, I latched onto my brother, who was like a year and a half older. Yeah. And he started sexually molesting me when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And because I lost my mother, I didn't want to lose my brother too, so I allowed it to keep going on.
Right.
So I wouldn't be alone. And so, you go through this numbing.
Yeah.
You don't know. He invited his friends in on the sexual abuse, and it was really.
He invited his friends to come on sexual abuse. Wow. And you didn't tell your stepmom or dad?
I told my dad and stepmom, but
Yeah.
they didn't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
At that age, you didn't do anything. At those days, they didn't. I think they grounded him for like 2 days or something.
And that was the punishment?
That was a punishment.
Wow, okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm alone. I'm gonna have to do this on my own. Okay. To me, that was normal. And so that went on for a good couple of years before one day I was able to tell him to stop. I started finding little hiding places in my home. I'd hide in the closet under the dirty laundry, and then he found me. I'd go in the attic and lock the door, and he found me. And then I hid in the rafters in my garage, and I brought the ladder up with me, and he couldn't get up there.
Yeah.
Because I had the ladder.
Wow.
So then I was like, wow, I feel safe now.
Yeah.
But then he started coming in my room, and I was sleeping and doing things. And so I'm like, oh, I remember laying there just going, say no, stop it. But then there was also that fear of, you're going to be alone. You're going to be alone. You tell him to stop it, you're going to be isolated.
Yeah.
You're going to lose him too. well, that wasn't God, you know? And so, I couldn't. But I was, at one point I was able to tell him to stop it,
Right.
you know? And, but by that point the damage was already done.
Yeah.
And I grew up, you just kind of come to your own conclusions, you know, because I didn't know what happened to my mom. I made the conclusion that she left because I was a bad kid.
Right.
And because I was molested by my brother, a boy, I came to the conclusion that women are victims and boys are abusers.
Yeah.
And that was the only two options there were in life.
Yeah.
And so when I hit puberty and wanted to start, you know, you start getting interested in love and, you know, all that. I'm like, well, how is this going to work? I don't want to be the victim. And so subconsciously I started, I liked that my brother was different than me. You know, I liked the power he carried.
Yeah.
And so when he wasn't home, I'd try on his clothes.
Yeah. What age is this?
12,
12.
13, 14, right around there. 13, 14. I started wearing his clothes, and I'm like, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like,
You look good.
hey,
Yeah.
you're powerful. That's how I felt, powerful.
Wow.
But when I looked at myself in the mirror when I was dressed like myself, not so powerful, you know?
Wow.
And so I liked that feeling of powerful.
Yeah, you
felt.
like the power of looking like a man.
Yeah, I liked the feeling of being a boy, because boy meant
power.
Yeah. Girl meant victim, weak.
Wow. Okay.
I would be abused my whole life. And so I liked that feeling. So I'm like, huh. So then I started learning how to comb my hair different, and I'd go out in public with my daddy, and people would say, oh, what a cute son you have.
Yeah.
And I went, oh.
It works.
She thinks I'm a boy.
Yeah.
This is awesome, because my life as a girl was horrible.
Right.
I don't even want that person around me anymore. She's a wuss. She betrayed me. I mean, my body betrayed me by responding to my brother. I can't even trust my body now.
Right.
I can't trust my parents because they didn't protect me. I can't trust my brother because he hurt me. And now I can't trust my body because it responded to the touch.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with that.
Right.
But I do like this power.
Yeah.
And so then I started wanting to date, and so I started dressing more like a boy. And I learned, you know, as you get older, you learn different tricks and ways to deceive people, and you know, I started to change my name, pick different names, and and I just I just started pretending to be a boy more and more, and telling lies about who I was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, girls would call my house, and my dad would answer, and, you know, my dad would be like,
I don't know that person.
who's Steve?
Yeah.
Who's Al? Who's Rico?
Right.
All these names I had.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't have a son.
Yeah.
There's only me living at home. So then these girls would be like, what's going on? Are you a girl? And I'm like, oh man, I gotta tell you the truth. My dad's psycho.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you lied that your dad is lying.
Yeah.
You are a boy and your dad is lying.
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad's psychotic, and he lost his daughter when he was a young age, so he now pretends I'm his daughter.
Wow.
So just go along with it.
Yeah.
Don't argue with him. He's on medication for it. It'll be all right.
Wow.
My poor daddy.
I know.
What I put him through. Man. So yeah, so I just started pretending more and more to be a boy, and I started, you know, getting more aggressive in it, and you know, then my family was kind of like, "What's going on?" You know, with her, something's not right. And so my sister found a place for me to go to get therapy. It's called Program in Human Sexuality at the University of Minnesota. So they do all this testing on you, based on the Kinsey reports, which are never mind that. This is something that needs to be exposed to the church, is about the Kinsey reports.
Okay. So it's like they actually program your mind to tell you that.
Basically.
Yeah.
So they said, well, what you have, after I went through all their MMPI and all these different tests and therapies, they came to the conclusion that I have a gender dysphoria. So at 9 weeks, you're given your hormones to decipher your sex, and at 12 weeks, you receive these chromosomes that tell you what sex you're going to be or something to that effect.
Oh.
And I'm like, huh, well, isn't that interesting? They said, yeah, your insides don't match your outsides. I'm like, you're right, they don't, because I don't want to be her.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to be a boy.
Oh, yeah.
So they said the only solution is to have a sex change. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, that makes sense. And so they said, you got to have therapy for X amount of years. You have to be living in the opposite role for 7 years, have hormone therapy before you can be considered to have the sex change.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So I started the therapy, changed my name legally to Travis Sancelli, not even the same last name. Yeah, I just wanted a whole new identity.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so I changed my name and got a job living as a man.
Yeah.
Had relationships with women as a man. Girls didn't know I was a boy. Women didn't know I was a girl.
Yeah.
My employers, my family accepted me. They all called me Travis, and life was swell.
And how long was that period where
from
as Travis?
19 until I was 31.
Wow. Did you eventually go through the sex change?
Nope.
Thank
Never
you,
went
Jesus.
to. No, something always stopped me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
I know. I'm like, how come I'm not going any further with this thing? Never could figure it out. There's something that just didn't feel right, and I didn't know why it didn't feel right or what about it wasn't right. I just didn't feel like it was right.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
So when was your turnaround? Like, when did you find Jesus? That's where I'm more curious. Like,
Well,
yeah.
when I was 31, I started thinking maybe maybe I don't want to have a sex change. Maybe I should be a lesbian. Life would sure be easier because then I don't have to lie all the time. Because the lies were wrecking me.
Yeah.
And I could only have short-term relationships. You couldn't get close to anybody because they'd find out your secret.
Yeah.
So then I was like a lesbian from 31. I was abusive. Every girl I got into a relationship with,
Just breaking their heart.
I was in jail for domestic assault.
Oh,
I had pictures of me in my pocket of me when I was a boy, just getting out of jail. So I was verbally abusive, I was mentally abusive, I was controlling, and I was physically abusive. And I got locked in jail several times for domestic assault.
For these girlfriends that you had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so you were taking the male role? Okay, wow.
Yep, I became the abuser now, and they became my victims.
Whoa, you're paying back.
Yeah.
The power.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got the power now. It might not be a great life, but at least I got the power.
Right.
And I'm not being the victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did the turnaround come?
So then, when I was 46, I mean, I had failed relationship after failed relationship, you know? And all this while, you know, when it's getting closer to when I found Jesus, things started happening. Like I got into this job where people were praying.
Yeah.
And they're a Christian organization, and they invited me to their prayer groups, and I'm like,
people actually want you to be a friend? Yeah.
And they want me to pray with them?
Right.
And this God started it was like a courtship sort of wooing me. And it was like a dance of intimacy.
Wow,
it
nice.
was something else. And so then when I was 46, I met this girl, Colleen, and I moved in with her and her 2 kids. Still abusive. Still wanting to be a boy, but living as a lesbian instead. And when I moved in with her, she said, all right, if you live with me, you need to go to church and you need to go to Bible study.
Even though she was a...
lesbian.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Very interesting.
So I'm like, all right, what do I care? God's just this inanimate being somewhere that whatever. And So I went to church. And it was the first Sunday I went.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in church, and all of a sudden there's this feeling in my stomach.
Yeah.
And it was like there was a rope,
Yeah.
and it was attached to me.
Yeah.
And it's like this, and it's pulling me.
Wow.
I'm like, what? What's happening? And I'm like, Colleen, what's going on?
Right.
I told her what was happening, and she said, you got to go get prayer. God's calling you
Right.
to the altar. I'm like,
Yeah.
nothing. If I even ran the other way towards the door, something would have pulled me back that way. It was so intense.
It was
strong.
so strong.
Yeah.
Wow. The Spirit of God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just drawing me, come to me, come to me. It was like, wow, this is beautiful. All I know is it felt beautiful and inviting. I'm like, oh, I want this.
Yes.
And so I went up there,
Yeah.
and they thought I was a boy.
Yeah.
So the pastor puts his hand right on my chest and starts, with a Pentecostal church, and starts praying for me.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, bam, hit the
On the
ground,
floor. Yeah.
hit the floor.
Yeah.
And I start crying and crying for like 20 minutes.
Wow.
And not just, I was like,
kind of cry.
I was messy crying, just
Snot all
over me.
Wow.
And when I stood up, I had tried to get up at one point. I'm
And
like,
you couldn't.
I couldn't.
Power of God.
Oh man, I'm like, why can't I get up?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, okay, I'm staying down here then. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kept crying, and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah.
And then I stood up, and it was like I took a backpack. You ever wear a backpack and you take it off?
Yeah,
and
it's
you feel
like some luggage just lifted off. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Thank
what
you,
it was
Jesus.
like.
Yeah.
And it was my unforgiveness I held towards myself. Because I already forgave my brother for what he did, but I never forgave myself.
Yeah.
And that was the hard thing. I hated myself for my body responding. I hated myself for not saying no. And
So is this the night that you actually gave your life to Christ?
No.
No. Okay.
I just felt this relief.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is freedom. Wow, I feel this love. And then I went home to my girlfriend. Things started getting a little worse. And then one day I'm sitting there holding my girlfriend's hand, and we're watching TV as we often did. And I looked down and I went, I'm holding a woman's hand. I'm supposed to be holding a man's hand. I'm a woman,
Right.
and I'm made for man.
Yes.
And I said, why am I having these thoughts?
Wow.
Do you got something to do with this?
Wow.
I didn't say that out loud,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking this. I'm like, what? Whoa, nude, what's happening?
Yes.
Who, what, you know? And so then things just started changing.
Yeah.
And then one day, Colleen was at her church. She goes to a different church. She's a black girl, so she liked the black church in the cities. That was like 30 miles from where the church she took me from, the old white church. I don't know why we have to have a black and a white church anyway.
Yeah, I know.
We need nation church.
Yeah.
All love together.
Oh yeah, all nations under the name of Jesus. That's
Come on.
right.
Why? There's no difference.
Uh-huh.
And so she was at her church, which went on for hours and upon hours. And I was at the white church. It ended probably at 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock, we have to end now.
I love
And
it.
you
I
like
love
that. Uh-huh.
it. It's football time.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah.
You even had a love for football.
Well, yeah, I liked football, but yeah, wow, I
Like a
love
boy,
football.
like sports, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
oh, believe me, I studied how to be a boy for years.
Wow.
It's all I learned was how do men talk, how do they dress, how do they walk, how do they carry themselves, what's their eye movement like, what are their hand gesture, how do they hold their hands.
Wow.
I studied men so I could learn how to look, walk, talk, everything like a boy, so there would be no question about it.